네, 이제 발표를 곧 시작하겠습니다. 네, 이번 세션은 동시 통역이 제공이 됩니다. 그래서 여러분들 자리 앞에 있는 통역기를 사용하시면 채널 1번을 통해서 지원을 받으실 수가 있습니다. 그리고 이번 발표는 촬영이 가능합니다. 다만 여러분들이 앞에 발표자분께서 집중하여 발표할 수 있도록 후레쉬나 셔터음은 자제 부탁드리겠습니다. 그리고 여러분 핸드폰이 현재 진동이나 무음으로 되어 있지 않으면 진동과 무음으로 변경 부탁드리겠습니다. 그리고 여러분들 지금 들어오실 때 받으셨던 설문지 상단에 QR코드와 URL이 있는데요. 저희가 질문을 그 QR코드와 URL을 통해서 접속하셔서 여러분들 모바일로 질문을 받고 있습니다. 당연히 이번 발표를 영어로 하기 때문에 여러분들이 질문을 또 영어로 해주셔야지 질문에 대한 답을 해주실 수 있을 것 같습니다. 네, 뭐 걱정은 했지만 많은 분들이 질문을 해주셔서 여러분들도 해주실 거라고 믿습니다. 네, 이번 세션은 The Originality Factor in Composing for Video Games로 이노즈루님께서 발표해 주시겠습니다. 박수로 환영 부탁드리겠습니다.
Hi everybody, good afternoon. My name is Inon Zur, and as you probably know, I am a music composer for video games, and I composed a lot of music throughout my years. I think you are familiar with a lot of the games that I composed. Prince of Persia series, Dragon Age series, Crisis, Soul Calibur, and of course all the Fallout series. And I wanted to share with you today something that happened to me during almost any game I'm composing the music. The director is coming to me and is telling me, look, I know that you composed music for many, many games, but I want my score or the music for my game to be the most original one. I want you to do something that never, ever had been written before for computer games. No pressure, right? So, after a while, I started to think, all right, originality. What does it mean? Okay? What does it mean to be original? I think that the first thing about originality is to do something that you don't expect me to do. So, for example, if I'm just going to leave the microphone right now and leave, it's very original. I'm sure that nobody did it before here, right? But it's going to be stupid. So you could be very original, but also not really serve what you need to do. You always need to be original, but also serve the main purpose. And the main purpose for music in-game is to put you in the right emotional mode and to make the player really feel the game. When a gamer plays the game, he or she sees the game, but the music make it feel. They feel the game. I always said that the best music is the music that you don't hear with your ears. It's the music that you feel here, inside. And this is what I always strive to do. But what about originality? So let's think about it. Originality could be something that you don't expect me to do, or something that the element is so weird and different that you never heard before, so it's going to be considered original. But we need to remember that music is a language, and we need to connect. I need to connect with you. So my first conclusion was that the best originality factor is 15 to 20% original. The rest of it should not be original. And the reason is because the music needs to be something that communicates to you. The only way for the music to communicate to you is that you will know some of it. You will hear familiar tones. And then I could insert maybe 15% of something that you never heard. So I started to ask myself questions. what to do, what to do, what to do. And then I thought to myself, all right, so I could enhance originality in a few ways. The first way is to introduce elements that are really, really rare in the musical mainstream. Okay? And then I could also introduce different musical instruments combination. So for example, and I could give you a few examples. Let's say that I'd like to play the orchestral sound. But on top of the orchestral sound, I want to play the duduk. The duduk is a very rare Turkish flute. And hear it how it sounds inside an orchestra. This is the main title for Sword Coast Legend. So we hear the strings, but we hear the duduk play around. And this is what creates the originality factor. The orchestra is 80%, the duduk is maybe 15%, and there we go. And then we could also introduce musical materials, elements that are basically presented in a non-predictable way and situation. All right. So here is, for example, something that I thought could be really, really interesting. I'm working on a game called Siberia 3, and there is a story there about a captain. And he is a captain of a ship. And he's always drunk. And he's drinking, and he's sort of like a no-good person. But when the time comes, he is saving the hero from a big sea monster. Okay? Now, for example, I was really asked to compose music for the point when this captain is throwing himself into the ocean, into the sea monster, and this way he's sacrificing himself and saving the hero. I could have done something that was expected for me to do, which is like a very loud and crazy, tensionous music with a lot of minor chords, horror style. This is what you would have expected me to do. But I thought that I'm going to go in a different way. This captain really liked to listen to his old gramophone, if you know what is this. It's very, very old vinyl player. And he always used to listen to marshes and stuff, from old music. So, when the captain is jumping to the sea, instead of playing this scary music, I'm playing this music. And the big difference between the tragic events that are happening now on the screen and the happy music create this weird effect that I couldn't achieve if I would play the most horrific music. Sometimes going against the picture is way more effective and surprising and original. So here is also some ways, to, enhance the originality. So really, I'll be honest with you. Most projects don't really use originality. In fact, unfortunately today in big movies in Hollywood, and I'm coming from Hollywood so I know, I think that 90% of the music is really, really using music that was there before. And this is kind of sad. I think we need to dare. I really think that we need to be courageous in order to create new sounds. And really, as composers, we have to take chances. And this is what I really like to do. So I continued my journey and understood that basically, if I really want to create the really effective music, I need to start. By the way, this is the duduk that we were talking about. That I need to start searching. And I searched for some other examples. But the best examples that I found was actually inside my house. Let me give you some examples. This is a chair and table that I have in my garden. Some more chairs. This is like oil jag. You know, this is a music stand. This is the inside of piano, guitar with a bow, and other instruments. And I thought to myself, all right, so let's say that we're taking these instruments and really trying to create interesting music with those, but also doing it in a way that the player will understand. So here is, for example, bowed guitar sound. Sound really lousy. And this is me because I don't know how to play guitar, and I just did that. Okay? Here is the same one inside a cue. You take the sound of the bowed guitar, you process it, here it is. You add a lot of effect, and suddenly it is so scary and so effective and different. This is music from Fallout 4. Listen. So we have piano, we have pads, and we have this scratchy sound. It is so different. When you hear it, you almost could feel the metallic feel inside you of this Fallout environment. Another example is the chairs. Let's listen to some chair sound. One day I was really angry and I start hitting on the chairs. And this is how it sounded. Yep, I was really angry. But it kind of sounded cool, so I took my Zoom player, and the Zoom is, you know, this stereo digital recording, and I recorded it. Listen what happened to it. Because you take the sound, here it is, you reverse it, and then you play it straight, and then you add some effect to it. So it's played as a percussion, but it's not a percussion. Pretty darn cool. Here is another one. Believe it or not, this is me. again in, I don't remember if it was after 2 or 3 beers, but I'm sure it was something like that. But it was kind of cool. So I said, okay, let's record it. I recorded it. Listen to it in a cue. By the way, this is me singing through a zhao. This is like a Chinese flute. Listen to it. First you take it, and part of it you take an octave down. Then you add some pads and piano, and here is coming. Pretty cool. And you would listen to it during Fallout and you think, wow, this is really atmospheric music. I didn't know that a drunk person in a beer like 3-4 could do it. Shit. But now, seriously, playing an originality and using Originality Factor is either playing instruments in a non-traditional way or playing non-traditional instruments in a traditional way. Really? Simple. For example, let's take the piano. We all know how to play the piano like this. No. I wanted to hit the piano. And here is me hitting piano. Open hand on a string. Pretty cool. Here is me scratching piano. Pretty shitty sound. Here is it in a Fallout 4 cue. And here it is. And again, it's percussive, it's energetic, it's very harsh, and it's not instrument that you know. It's different kind of instrument that I basically created. And this is what we called how you use something in an original way. The way that I'm playing it is original, right? I'm using a beat, okay? But it is the sounds that are basically making the original factor inside. And this is the originality factor. Here is, for example, where is it? Oh, yeah. I really suck playing ocarina. In fact, really suck. This is me playing ocarina. Yeah, that ran out of air. Okay. And here is this cue in Fallout 4. Again, we start with something that is like a pad. And here is coming the ocarina. See how effective it is. It's weird, it's out of tune, but it leaves so nicely inside the envelope of the other instruments that's surrounding it. And this is the 20% originality that I was talking to you about. You could use sometimes elements like oil jag to create like a sub bass. This has a lot of bass inside. You don't need to use drums. So cool. Or bass trap. See how like the lows are so effective, and yet it's still not a drum. Last but not least, using a voice. Okay, again, bowed guitar. And accordion together in a cue. Accordion, voice, bowed guitar. It's music, right? But it tells a story. Fallout 4 was a very demanding game. I always had to create elements that were different. Fallout 4 was a game that every cue had to have a special meaning, because I knew that the players are so engaged inside the game, so they have to find or to hear something that will make them even more engaged. I couldn't find it inside the usual guitar, piano, string section, brass section. I had to stretch the boundaries. And stretching the boundaries is what it is all about. When you are coming to either compose music for games or to supervise music for games, you have to understand that it's not about trying to be like Hans Zimmer or James Newton Howard or all these guys. It's about you gotta try to do what's best for the game, and you have to keep your originality going. So when I had to compose one of the themes, for example, for Siberia 3, I thought, okay, so I have orchestra. I want to use some originality factor on top of it. How about that I will write a language? Yes, I'm going to write a gibberish language that is, you will hear it and you will not know what it is mean, but it will make you curious. Here it is. This is Kate theme from Siberia 3. Again, we have the orchestra, we have the voice, and then the voice starts to tell a story. These are words that I came up with. Nobody could understand what it says, but this is the beauty of it. Because people will ask themselves, what the hell she's singing about? It creates curiosity. So again, orchestra, it's not original, check. Voice, everybody is using, check. But a new language. This is original. Again, here is your 20%. This is, by the way, singer named Ariely Brighton. She's great. If you heard about a game called Ori and the Blind Forest, she's the main singer there. So the next time you want to create original music for a game, then you have to remember that originality starts from the idea that everything has to be known and communicative, and only small elements inside it should stand out and be the original part. When you will do this, you will be successful because you would be able to communicate your idea, you would be able to connect with your audience in the right way, and you also will introduce elements that nobody heard before. And go wild, go crazy. You know what? I remember 15 years ago when I composed music for a game that you probably never heard about called Fallout Tactics, which is one of the first Fallouts. I brought 4 singers to the studio, and they all going like, and they're ready to sing. And I said to them, I want you to shout now. It's like, what? Yes, shout. And I'm recording them. Now I want you to cry. What? And they cry.